Imagine creating a simple idea in college, an idea that becomes the most used tool on the entire planet, accessed billions of times daily, an omnipresent force shaping how humanity interacts with information. This is the profound story of Larry Page, the visionary who, alongside his brilliant collaborator, birthed Google and irrevocably changed the internet forever. Our journey begins at the hallowed halls of Stanford University, where a curious and relentlessly driven PhD student named Larry Page immersed himself in the sprawling, nascent world of the internet. With an intellect sharp as a razor and an insatiable hunger for understanding, Page was fascinated by the chaotic, unorganized deluge of information online. He wasn't just interested in finding data, he yearned to tame it, to impose order on its vastness. His childhood provided fertile ground for this ambition. His father, a pioneering computer science professor, had filled their home with computers and technical magazines, fostering an early, innate interest in technology and problem-solving within young Larry. He grew up dismantling and reassembling electronics, an early tinkerer destined for grander constructions. Page's mind constantly grappled with a monumental, almost audacious question. What if we could organize all the information in the world and make it universally accessible and useful? This wasn't merely an academic exercise, it was a core motivation, a guiding star that would illuminate his path. He believed that if information could be structured logically, its true power could be unleashed, benefiting everyone. This burning question led to the genesis of his first major project, an ambitious search engine he initially christened Backrub. The name, quirky as it sounds now, reflected its core concept, analyzing the backlinks between websites to determine their importance and relevance. It was an innovative approach, moving beyond simple keyword matching to understand the underlying structure of the web. This early concept showcased Page's profound innovative thinking, a nascent understanding that the Internet's true value lay in its interconnectedness. It was during this period that fate, or perhaps the universe's design, brought him into contact with Sergey Brin. Brin, another exceptionally brilliant Stanford student, was just as intellectually formidable as Page, though with a contrasting, more extroverted personality. Their initial encounters were marked by lively, often heated debates, a clash of strong personalities and differing perspectives. Yet, beneath the friction, a powerful intellectual synergy simmered, quickly blossoming into an extraordinary collaboration. They were two sides of the same genius coin, destined to forge something monumental together. The arduous process of developing their core algorithm, which would later be famously known as PageRank, began. Countless hours were spent hunched over keyboards, fueled by caffeine and an unwavering belief in their vision. It was an intellectual struggle of immense proportions, a relentless pursuit of the perfect mathematical model to distill the essence of web relevance. Backrub operated within the Stanford network, a proving ground where its potential slowly but surely became evident, gaining traction among early adopters within the university community. However, the path was far from smooth. There came a critical juncture, a moment of doubt that almost led to the project's abandonment. Academic peers, steeped in traditional research methodologies, viewed their ambitious undertaking with skepticism, questioning its viability and academic rigor. The limitations of their initial infrastructure and the sheer scale of the task loomed large, threatening to overwhelm them. Yet, they persevered, driven by their shared conviction. The clunky Backrub name soon gave way to something far more evocative. Google, a playful misspelling of Google, a mathematical term for a 1 followed by 100 zeros. This name change symbolized a grander vision, a step towards a broader, almost infinite impact. With their revolutionary algorithm and a new iconic name, they faced their next colossal hurdle, securing funding. They embarked on an early investment hunt, facing rejection after rejection from established tech companies who failed to grasp the magnitude of their idea. The skepticism was palpable, the doors often closed in their faces. Their perseverance against these odds was legendary, culminating in the iconic image of Google starting in a humble garage in Menlo Park. This was the quintessential Silicon Valley beginning, a testament to the fact that even the most colossal enterprises can emerge from the simplest of spaces. The turning point arrived with their first major breakthrough, a significant investment from Andy Bechtolsheim, a co-founder of Sun Microsystems. His belief in their vision, and his swift, decisive check, transformed Google from an academic project into a bona fide company. But with growth came growing pains. Scaling the project, managing an ever-increasing deluge of data, and overcoming the relentless technical hurdles placed immense strain on their small, dedicated team. They were building the plane as they flew it, constantly innovating to keep pace with the Internet's explosive expansion. As they toiled, an impending threat loomed large. Existing search engines like AltaVista and Yahoo dominated the landscape, well-funded and deeply entrenched. The question hung heavy in the air. Could two students, armed with little more than an algorithm and an audacious dream, truly challenge the established order and carve out their own destiny in this rapidly expanding digital universe? Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The late 1990s roared with the cacophony of the dot-com boom, a wild west of innovation and ambition where countless companies scrambled for supremacy in the burgeoning digital frontier. In this frenetic landscape, Google, a fledgling entity born from academic curiosity, was but a small player, a whisper in a storm of giants. Yet Larry Page and Sergey Brin carried within them a philosophy that would set them apart. The now legendary mantra, "Don't be evil." This wasn't merely a catchy slogan, it was a foundational principle, a moral compass intended to guide every decision, a promise to prioritize users over profit, even when faced with immense pressure. This commitment immediately sparked an internal debate, a tension between maintaining a pristine, ad-free user experience and the undeniable financial pressures inherent in nurturing a startup. Conventional wisdom dictated that advertising was the lifeblood of online ventures, yet Page and Brin resisted the urge to clutter their search results with intrusive banners. Their conviction was that superior search quality would, in time, attract its own rewards. And so it did. Google's remarkably accurate and swift search results began to gain organic traction, spreading like wildfire through word of mouth among tech-savvy early adopters who recognized its undeniable superiority over the clunky, often irrelevant offerings of competitors. They were building a loyal following, one search query at a time. As Google's reputation grew, so too did the attention from larger established tech companies. There were instances, hushed and intense, where lucrative offers of acquisition were dangled before Page and Brin. These were moments of profound temptation, presenting an easy exit with substantial personal wealth. Yet, their unwavering belief in their mission, their shared vision for organizing the world's information, compelled them to reject these overtures. They refused to sell out, determined to maintain control and steer Google towards their long-term, ambitious goals. This steadfast conviction became a defining characteristic of their partnership. The pivotal moment for their financial viability arrived with an innovation that would revolutionize online advertising: AdSense. The revolutionary idea of contextual advertising, placing relevant ads alongside content without compromising the search experience, was a game-changer. It provided a sustainable business model that allowed Google to monetize its platform while largely preserving its clean, user-centric interface. This marked a crucial turning point, transforming Google from a promising academic project into a financially robust company. Beyond their technological prowess, Google also cultivated a unique workplace culture that fostered creativity and intellectual freedom. The famous 20% time rule, allowing engineers to dedicate a fifth of their work week to passion projects, became emblematic of their commitment to employee growth and innovation. This environment attracted some of the brightest minds in the industry, creating a fertile ground for continuous breakthroughs. However, scaling such an ambitious project was fraught with technical hurdles. Managing massive data centers, ensuring lightning-fast speed, and guaranteeing reliability across billions of daily queries demanded relentless engineering prowess. As Google ascended, the battle with established players intensified. Companies like AltaVista and Yahoo attempted to replicate Google's success, leading to an arms race in search technology, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Even within their powerful partnership, moments of tension and disagreement arose. Page and Brin, despite their synergistic collaboration, were distinct individuals with strong opinions. Strategic decisions, particularly those concerning the company's direction and values, occasionally led to heated debates, showcasing the very human element underlying their extraordinary venture. Then came the momentous decision to go public. Google's initial public offering was as unconventional as the company itself. They opted for a Dutch auction system, a rebellious approach that challenged Wall Street norms, aiming for a more equitable distribution of shares and reflecting their anti-establishment ethos. This transition brought with it the immense pressure of public scrutiny, shifting from a private startup to a company answerable to shareholders and the global market. Amidst their rapid growth, serendipity also played its part. A minor feature, perhaps initially overlooked or developed as a side project, would sometimes blossom into an incredibly successful product, demonstrating the unpredictable nature of innovation. Google Maps, for instance, became an indispensable tool that transcended its initial scope. By the end of the decade, Google was firmly established as a major player, no longer a whisper, but a roar in the digital landscape. Yet, with its immense success came new, complex challenges. Whispers of privacy concerns began to circulate. Antitrust questions emerged, and with its vast reach, Google found itself grappling with the immense responsibility of organizing the world's information. The question now loomed large. Could they maintain their ideals, their "don't be evil" mantra, as they grew into a global empire, or would the pressures of power and profit inevitably compromise their founding principles? The question of maintaining ideals became a pressing reality as Google transformed into a global behemoth, its influence reaching into nearly every corner of digital life. The sheer weight of such power brought with it a cascade of ethical dilemmas and responsibilities that Larry Page and Sergey Brin, once garage innovators, now had to confront. The "don't be evil" mantra, once a guiding star, began to flicker under the intense scrutiny of a world increasingly wary of concentrated power. Public and governmental concerns about data collection, privacy, and Google's ever-growing control over information mounted steadily. Users, once thrilled by the convenience Google offered, now questioned the unseen mechanisms behind its ubiquitous services. This growing unease manifested as public backlash, forcing Google to constantly defend its practices and justify its data-driven business model. Simultaneously, legal and regulatory battles erupted across various continents. Governments, particularly in Europe, launched extensive antitrust investigations, accusing Google of monopolistic practices that stifled competition and unfairly favored its own products. These legal challenges tested the very core of their founding principle, forcing the company to grapple with accusations that their quest to organize the world's information had inadvertently led to an unchallenged dominance. Indeed, there were instances where Google's actions, driven by market pressures or aggressive expansion, seemed to contradict the spirit of "don't be evil." These moments created internal conflicts among employees who had joined the company believing in its ideals, and external criticism from a public that expected more from a company that held so much sway. The struggle to uphold their original values while navigating the complexities of a global corporation became a defining challenge for Page and Brin. Yet, Google's relentless pursuit of innovation never wavered. Under their leadership, the company diversified far beyond search, embarking on ambitious ventures that reshaped entire industries. Android revolutionized mobile computing, YouTube transformed video consumption, Chrome became a dominant web browser, and the pursuit of self-driving cars through Waymo signaled their commitment to pushing technological boundaries. These expansions showcased not only their ambition, but also their belief in solving grand challenges. Larry Page and Sergey Brin themselves underwent a profound evolution. They transitioned from hands-on engineers, meticulously coding and debugging, to visionary leaders, guiding a vast empire. Their focus gradually shifted from day-to-day operations to broader strategic initiatives, and increasingly to philanthropic endeavors. Through Google, org, and other initiatives, they began to channel their immense wealth and influence towards addressing global challenges, seeking to leverage technology for social good, a reflection of their desire to give back to the society their creation had so profoundly impacted. However, the rapid pace of innovation and the sheer scale of Google's operations were not without their human costs. While Google created countless opportunities, its dominance also presented challenges for smaller companies, sometimes stifling nascent competitors or absorbing promising startups. These unintended consequences added a layer of complexity to Google's success story, revealing the subtle ways in which even beneficial technologies can disrupt established ecosystems. Google continued its eternal quest for the next big thing, investing heavily in moonshot projects like Verily and Calico, aiming to solve humanity's most intractable problems, from disease to climate change. This constant striving to anticipate future technological shifts was a core tenet of their corporate philosophy, ensuring Google remained at the forefront of innovation. Eventually, Page and Brin, while remaining influential figures, stepped back from daily operational leadership, entrusting the company's future to a new generation of leaders. The unforeseen consequences of their technologies also became apparent. The rise of filter bubbles, where algorithms inadvertently reinforce existing beliefs, and the overwhelming information overload faced by users highlighted the double-edged nature of their mission to organize the world's information. Larry Page's initial vision, a noble quest to make knowledge accessible, had indeed evolved, sometimes for the better, but also with challenges that demanded continuous societal reflection. The ongoing debate about who controls the Internet's information and Google's undeniable role in that control remains a central question of the digital age. Google's profound impact on communication, commerce, and daily life is undeniable, cementing its place as one of the most influential entities in human history. Yet, its story remains an unfinished chapter, facing new ethical dilemmas, technological frontiers, and societal expectations in an ever-evolving digital world. The ultimate question still lingers. How will history truly judge the student who, with a simple idea, changed the Internet forever?